All right, if you are struggling with your feelings and you want to write down a letter and you want to send it in, please do so, because I just got letter number 2 and I'm so excited to share that with you. So let's get started. Dear Jessica, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to write this letter to share more about my life, my experiences growing up, and the challenges I've faced, so you can better understand me and my journey. Growing up, I was deaf. I'm still deaf in both ears and require hearing aids. And I didn't speak until I was around 7 years old. At the time, a lot of my behaviors were put down due to my deafness, but teachers and others around me often felt there was something more going on. I was frequently seen as naughty. I struggled to sit still, made noises, preferred being alone, talked excessively, even to myself, and behaved in ways that others around me found unusual. When I moved into secondary school, things became more difficult. My behaviors became more noticeable, and although professionals raised concerns, my parents didn't always agree. I found it very hard to make friends, and was often bullied for being different, strange, or not fitting in. When I was 10 years old, something traumatic had happened within my family that turned all of our lives upside down. Then at 13, I experienced something deeply traumatic on a personal level, which had a profound impact on me. After that, my mental health declined significantly. I began self-harming, the bullying worsened, and I became increasingly angry. I started lashing out at myself, at others, and at the world around me. By the age of 16, I was no longer able to cope and attempted to end my life. You're not alone. Not at that age, but you're not alone. I was admitted to a mental health facility where different possibilities were discussed, including autism and borderline personality disorder, though there wasn't agreement at the time. My parents believed it could be bipolar disorder, but professionals had different views. When I transitioned into adult services, I was told that an autism assessment had already been started while I was in the unit, and I was asked if I wanted to continue with it. Okay, let me repeat that one more time. When I transitioned into adult services, I was told that an autism assessment had already been started while I was in the unit, and I was asked if I wanted to continue with it. At that point, I didn't fully understand autism, but I agreed to go ahead. Within 6 months, at age 18, nearly 19, I was diagnosed with autism. Looking back, it helped explain so much about my childhood and the challenges I had faced. Alongside my mental health journey, I have also had ongoing health conditions. At age 15, I was diagnosed with arthritis in my spine and knees. At 18, I was diagnosed with, I can't say this word, it's spelled EHLERS-DANLOS syndrome and fibromyalgia. At 19, I was diagnosed with PCOS. Over the years, I've experienced reoccurring seizures, and around 5 years old, I was diagnosed with epilepsy and started medications. I have been diagnosed with severe endometriosis, which may affect my ability to have children. Additionally, I've been told that I have a tic disorder, but more recently, this has been identified as Tourette's, and I'm currently undergoing assessment for ADHD. Education was also a challenging journey. I left school and attempted sixth form at 16, but had to drop out due to following my suicide attempt. I then tried college, but was it got all into one little mumbo jumbo. I then tried college, but despite putting in the work and managing my mental health, I was told I was too unstable to continue. Eventually, I found my way through apprenticeships where I completed my level 2 and level 3 in childcare, as well as a level 3 in health and social care. I'm so proud of you. That's so incredible. So she didn't do well in school, and she dropped out of school at 16, and she was told she was too unstable to continue. So eventually I found my way through apprenticeships where I completed my level 2 and level 3 in childcare, as well as level 3 in health and social care. I'm proud to say that I've achieved achieved 2 level 3 qualifications in 1 year, which is usually not done. And I even received an award for this. Congratulations, girlfriend! Around that time, I also met my best friend, and we are still close 12 years later, which is something I truly value. Despite everything I've been through, the challenges with my mental health, my experiences growing up, and the difficulties in education, I have continued to push forward. My journey hasn't been easy, but it has shaped who I am today. I wanted to share this experience with you so you can better understand my background, what I've experienced, and the strength it has taken to get to where I am now. I would also like to add my diagnosis of bipolar coming 4 years ago, but that has a story on my page. I want to add personally now that I am a 30-year-old woman, nearly 31, who lives a semi-independent, although social services want me to be in full-time supported living. I'm fighting to stay alone as I have 2 dogs, a cat, and these are my life, and I wouldn't be able to take them with me. So without them, I wouldn't be who I am. And I wanted to be, so I'm trying to live independently, but this is deeming harder and harder with the care of the careers I do. I get the support, but life is extremely challenging with all of my diagnoses, making my life a living bloody hell. But I try and I stay as positive as possible. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Well, first of all, what an incredible story. And I'm excited to unpack the second part of your story and then the second letter that we talked about that you're going to send over. This is incredible. I am so proud of you for overcoming so many challenges that was faced to you. And look at you rocking on, girl. Like, I'm sorry I stuttered over your words. I do have dyslexia myself, so reading things out loud is extremely challenging for me. So this is something that's really rewarding for me to do when I get to read a letter out loud and continue to face my challenges for people who are facing their own challenges. Anyways, I hope that this letter brought you a little bit of hope and a little bit of faith to know that your story can be shared any way that you choose to. I'm adoptable. However you'd like to share, I can share that for you. All right, well, I hope everybody has a beautiful day. Much love, much peace, so much buttercups, and bye.